You are listening to Paycheck and Bread.
It's definitely inappropriate.
It's not your mom and dad's podcast.
Unless your mom's into butt stuff, and your dad is too.
Just two good old boys talking about shit we're not supposed to. Fuck PC, fuck what your mama says.
We talk about it so you don't have to.
So sit back and enjoy.
You bunch of degenerates.
Three, two, one.
Good morning, students. This is your principal, Dr. Dick Sweats. It's a great day as we celebrate Mr. Blumpkin in our automotive mechanic class on his 109th birthday. He contributes his ability to live through all life's bull hockey to years of meditation and DMT. Happy birthday, Mr. Blumpkin, from all of us here at the home of the Fighting Cocks. Also, our maintenance department is asking students to please refrain from putting marijuana roaches and cigarette butts in the suggestion boxes. And now, to Mr. Percy Jewse with today's lunch menu.
Thank you, Principal Sweats. Good morning, students. Today's lunch menu is shepherd's pie, green peas, coleslaw, banana pudding, and your choice of roll or cornbread. And students, please do not ask to see the lunch lady's shepherd's pie. That is considered sexual harassment and will not be tolerated. Go Fighting Cocks!
This is an inappropriate comedy podcast. We talk about it so you don't have to. I'm Paycheck, and as always, I'm with my boy Red.
What's up, party people? This episode is brought to you by Philip Morris, addicting young kids to cigarettes since the early 1900s, or whenever the fuck they were made.
They've been around for cigarettes have been around for a long time, but we're not smoking the same cigarettes that our great grandpa smoked, or even our grandpa smoked. There's like so many new chemicals in this shit, man. It's fucking ridiculous. They don't even taste the same.
No, I think it was Winston cigarettes used to have that that slogan. It was called "No Bull," where they didn't put any chemicals or any pesticides in their shit. It was all natural. Then you got American Spirits now that have the all natural slogan that all their shit's organic and all they don't put any chemicals in their shit. But a cigarette's a cigarette, man.
There's a guy on YouTube. He finds old MREs, World War I, II. You know what I'm saying? Old school canteen, MREs. So for those who don't know, that's a military term. It's equipment. It's a meal ready to eat. So it's literally everything's processed in it. Like it's made to last for a long time. So this guy finds old ass, like I said, from World War I, World War II, whatever, and he opens it. And some of the shit he eats. It's crazy that, yeah. Well, some stuff, the can busts and oxygen gets to it and, the bacteria sets in and everything. But some stuff, it was canned properly. It was processed properly. It still smells good. Still smells like whatever, it's supposed to be or whatever. So, coffee, in some of these MREs, there was coffee and cigarettes. And the coffee was still good. They used the coffee, the creamer, the sugar, you know what I'm saying? And it was real cool and interesting to see what they offer our military personnel, out in the field or whatever. But back in the day, there were cigarettes in these MREs. Dude pulled it out and it looked like it was a very small, elongated square box. And there were 2 Marlboro Reds in it. So this guy pulled it out, and the cellophane was sealed tight. The guy pulled it out, lit it up, and he mentioned that it tastes way different than the way cigarettes taste now. So him smoking that Marlboro compared to a Marlboro now was completely different.
Yeah, but how old were these MREs though?
Dude, I told you, World War One, World War Two. So yeah, they were a little stale or whatever.
I was gonna say, of course they're gonna taste different.
Yeah, but no, what I'm talking about is
that's not an accurate judgment of taste. And if it's fucking from World War One, that tobacco's aged, and of course it's gonna taste different.
yeah, but we're not talking about it being stale or not. We're talking about he can taste the lack of chemicals in that old Marlboro, as opposed to the new Marlboro. Like you can taste the chemical in it almost.
Yeah, maybe so. I've been smoking long enough to where I've seen and I can taste cigarettes evolving. You know what I mean? But because I used to smoke Camel Lights, and Camel Lights don't taste the same now as they did back in the day. So it's crazy to watch it change, and why they need to put these chemicals in there to begin with to maintain freshness or whatever the case is. But that's not really the issue at hand here, Paycheck. I don't give a fuck about the history of cigarettes. I wanted to talk about this new 21 and over cigarette law they got out now. Have you kept up with this and seen and heard all that's been going on?
I have, and it's a double-edged sword for me. I get it, you know what I mean? And I'm some of me is thankful, you know, that they're making a stand on the tobacco industry because, you know, believe it or not, that's a huge deal for them, for the tobacco industry. You know what I'm saying? And for those who don't know, the tobacco industry holds a lot of political pull, you know, in the way the economic system works and shit, you know what I'm saying? That's why something that kills you, and it's known to kill you, it's known to give you cancer, heart disease, all this shit, yet they still sell it, and it's still legal. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm kind of for it, you know what I mean? So, that's 2 years difference. Think about all the lives, you know, that would be extended just due to that. Now, I know they can still get it from somebody else. I know that, you know, I get it. But it's a step in the right direction, I think.
Dude, think about this for a minute. At 18 years old, you can walk into a titty bar legally and look at naked women. At 18 years old, you can sign up. Actually, you can sign up for the military when you're 17. But you can fight for this country and die on the front lines for this country that's banning you from doing what you want to until you're 21.
Yeah,
you can fight and die for this country, but you can't smoke cigarettes.
Yeah, I believe that you shouldn't be allowed into the military until you're 21 myself. 18 years old, dude, you're still a child. Even at 21, you're still a child.
Of course. Not the issue here, though. Of course you're of course you're immature and you're not fully developed at 18. I don't think that's right either, but if you're going to raise the smoking age, raise the military sign up and the age to vote up too. Don't just change that shit.
Yeah, I agree with all that.
Change it all. You know what I mean? It's just stupid. It's stupid.
But if you think about how, you know, in order to talk about what's going on in the present, you have to look back and talk upon, you know, the past. There was a time before there was an age limit on cigarettes.
Of course.
So think about, but let's say back in the 30s. I'm sure it was nothing for old 12-year-old Tommy, you know what I'm saying, to walk down to the local corner store for, you know, and buy him a pack of smokes. Even if he had to say that it was for, you know, his ma and pa, you know what I mean? He would still be able to get it, you know what I mean? Kids smoking back in those days, it wasn't frowned upon, really.
No, dude. I remember stories my grandpa used to tell me about how he used to go in the store and buy cigarettes when he was 10 and 11 years old. And they used to smoke in the fields while they were working and cropping that same tobacco.
You know, how ironic is that? So imagine a farmer, a sharecropper, out there cropping that backer, got a cigarette in his mouth. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, it's their bread and butter. That's how they make their living. So of course they're gonna partake in their wares just to see how good it is. You know what I mean? They're not gonna put out a shitty product unless they've smoked it and they know what it tastes like. Now it's in the raw form because there's some cigarette companies, these what I'm gonna call no names because your popular ones are Philip Morris and R.J. Reynolds and whatever, but you've got some of these no-name companies that use the lower grade of tobacco, the cheap shit, what us Southerners call floor sweeping.
Yeah.
And they have to put a lot of chemicals in them to make them taste good because it's that old stale shit.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, And all this stems from that whole vaping debacle that happened at the end of last year.
Yeah, and that's my only problem with it. I don't have a problem that they raised the legal age to buy it, but I do, in my opinion, this is just another form of government control. You know what I'm saying? How dare some governing body tell an individual, a person, a human being, whether they can smoke or not smoke, or what age they can smoke, or what age they can't smoke. You know what I mean? Yeah. Some of these laws, some of, politics and how governing bodies operate. When you sit and think about, say you're one of those guys who go out there and smoke you a damn blunt or a bowl, whatever, go out there and look up at the stars and just let your mind wander, zone out a little bit. You start thinking, fuck, I'm an individual. I'm in control of my shit. You know what I mean? I'm in control of my destiny. If I want to go out there and take a shit in the pool, you know what I mean? That's what the fuck I'm going to do. If I want to smoke a fucking cigarette, mind your own damn business. Hey, I appreciate you looking out for me. You know what I mean? But I make my bed around here. Not you. So I'm not an anarchist or anything or anti-government, but I'm more into, being self-governed. Look at all the control the government has on you. It's ridiculous. And this is just another form of it.
Well, right there at the end of the year, I seen on the news where they had put into place, a marijuana legalization bill across the country.
On a federal level.
On a federal level, yeah, because all these other states are making so much money on the legalization of marijuana. But at the same time, they're upping the age of legally buying cigarettes. So while you got your mind on this right here and worrying about buying cigarettes when you're 21, they went ahead and 86 that whole fucking legalization bill. It is no longer in up for debate anymore. It's already been.
No.
It's already went. Yeah, it has. It's already went through. It's done. They nixed it out already.
And it's been denied.
Been vetoed.
Yeah.
So while they were sneaking in this 21 and over bullshit, they were also nixing a bill to legalize marijuana on a federal level. So it's distractions, man. That's all it is. Fucking distractions.
What they call it? Smoke and mirrors.
There you go. Smoke and mirrors. That's it.
That's a damn shame. But it all makes sense. You know what I mean? It's all about money, power, and greed. They don't want to legalize cannabis because of the big pharma companies.
Yep.
They don't want you vaping because of the tobacco industry. The tobacco industry, you know what I mean, and the big pharmaceutical companies, they've got, their hand all in politicians' pockets. You know what I mean?
Of course. Yeah, it's all one big fucking scheme, dude. Like, it's all planned. There's no doubt in my mind it's not. It's just dumb. If you're going to raise the age limit on one thing, do it across the board, man. Don't just do it on one thing. Because if I go in the military at 18 years old and I fight and die for this country, or I even fight and come home for that matter, if I fight for this country at 18 years old and I come home and I get out of the military before I'm 21, when I come home, I can't even enjoy a good beer. I can't even sit on my front porch and smoke a good cigarette and drink a beer, knowing that I've fought and served my country well. I can't even do that.
Yeah, it's going to come down to a point, and everybody listening, you need to prepare yourself on, are you going to be able to hold your ground, stand your ground, and, damn, I got a brain fart. Reject any violation on your rights as a human being. You know what I mean? The whole government thing, and are you going to be able to shoot somebody coming to your house to tell you that you can't let your kids stay up past 8 o'clock? Hey, you know what I mean? Eventually they're going to have some dumb fucked up shit where they're going to overregulate every fucking thing. There's going to be a damn bedtime, a global bedtime for all kids under. And then if they're not in bed by that time, you know what I mean? Police are going to kick your fucking door in. You know what I mean? It's going to be like a dick. So prepare yourselves mentally on if you are going to be able to stand your ground and kill people over your beliefs. Because when they start talking about coming to get my guns or coming to get my weed or my cigarettes or my alcohol, whatever, am I passionate enough? Do I love my freedom and who I am as an individual enough to be able to blast on these fools when they come to the door. That's huge, bro.
Yeah, I'm going to quote the great, famous Aaron Tippin from the mid-'90s and say, you've got to stand for something or you'll fall for anything.
And I'd like to quote the good old Kenny Rogers. You know, you got to know when to hold 'em. You got to know when to fold 'em.
How does that song lyric pertain to this conversation is what I'm trying to figure out.
You got to know when to walk away, and you got to know when to run.
Yeah, of course. Absolutely. It makes perfect sense.
Yeah, there'll be time enough, you know.
There'll be time enough for gambling when the dealing's done.
Yeah, no, counting.
Oh, yeah, there'll be time enough for counting when the dealing's done. There you go.
Yeah. So, yeah, 21. Sorry, guys. If you're 17 and 3/4 and you were looking forward to going into that damn local Mamaw and Papaw grocerette to get you some of them Virginia Cadillac Slims in a box, now you just gonna have to wait a few more years. So just reach out to your favorite cousin, your auntie, your uncle, you know what I'm saying, your great-great-grandpappy, if he's still alive and kicking, to get you on them old cigarettes. That's how it is. That's where we're at. Welcome to 2020.
It's fucking pathetic, man. That's exactly what it's come to. That's exactly what it's come to. Welcome to 2020. That's exactly right.
So with that being said, Paycheck and I'm Paycheck. Red and I, we just want to say Happy New Year to everybody. We wish y'all a grand year, full of success, financially, mentally, spiritually, all that good stuff.
Hell yeah.
Read him the poem that you wrote for 2020, Red.
Roses are red, violets are blue. That's all we got time for. We'll see you next episode.
Yo, that doesn't even... None of that rhymed with two.
That wasn't supposed to, man. That's what it was all about. It's nothing else supposed to.
Oh, that must have been one of them haikus.
Yeah, there you go. It was a haiku.
Yeah, there you go. But there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Until next time, Peckerheads.
Previously on Welcome to Peckersville.
Look, Sheriff, it looks like someone had a bonfire out here also.
That ain't no bonfire, Stevie. That looks like the burnt grass from some sort of high-tech propulsion system.
But what about that tin over there, Sheriff?
Dang it, Stevie, let's investigate one thing at a time. I'm beginning to wonder if old Trixie ain't pulling our leg.
I don't think she would do that, Sheriff. She really likes us.
Trixie is about as trustworthy as a fart in a whirlwind, Stevie. Didn't you see that bulge in her dress?
A sexual experience is a sexual experience in my world, Sheriff.
Well, that's just gross, Stevie.
This week on Welcome to Peckersville, Stevie and the sheriff get some of that fecal matter tested, and the sheriff gets a strange phone call.
Go get the lab kit out of the trunk of my squad car, Stevie, so we can get a sample of this here fecal matter from Miss Murda's down at the lab.
Okay, Sheriff, I got it, and it's heavy.
Well, don't just stand there, Stevie. Get us a sample, would you?
Okay, Sheriff, no problem. Sheriff, it's so disgusting and gross even. There's so much corn, and it's everywhere, Sheriff.
Never mind the corn, Stevie. We already know what that is. Get a sample of all that other mess.
Maybe all this field work isn't for me after all.
Peckersville Sheriff's Department. Sheriff Mike Litorus speaking.
Well, good morning, Sheriff.
Oh, hello there, Miss Murtis.
Did you hear about what Deputy Packer and Miss Beaver done in the evidence room?
Yes, ma'am.
My word.
Yes, ma'am.
So how's Mrs. Litorus doing?
She's doing fine, thank you.
Well, that's good, dear.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, how have you been since little Pig died?
Oh, I'm dealing with it one day at a time.
Do you remember when he shit in my rose bushes?
Yes, ma'am, I remember.
Your lab results are in.
Thank you for running all those tests for me.
Looks like beans and tortillas.
Beans, huh? And tortillas?
Well, that's all I got.
All right, ma'am, thank you.
Morning, Sheriff.
Morning, little buddy. Miss Murtis just called from downstairs at the lab. Says that fecal matter contains beans, beef, and tortillas.
Holy smoke, Sheriff. I sure wish I could have been there to help Miss Murtis. And I think it's pronounced tortillas?
Tomatoes, tomatoes. You know what I mean, Stevie. Peckersville Sheriff's Department. Sheriff Mike Litorus speaking.
This is Agent Smith, United States Customs and Border Patrol.
Yes, sir. How can I help you?
We have acquired intel that suggests you may know the whereabouts of 8 aliens.
Me and investigative reporter Stevie Stevenson have been hot on their trail for a few days now.
The agency now has full jurisdiction over this investigation. I'll need all information on Stevie, Stevenson, and Trixie, ASAP, Sheriff.
Now wait just a dagbang minute now. This is my case and I intend to see it through to the end.
Don't talk to anyone about this. Go to Walmart and get a track phone that can't be traced. I'll be in contact soon.
What could United States Customs and Border Patrol want with aliens? Make sure to check out Paycheck and Red wherever you listen to podcasts, and leave us 5 stars and a review. Follow Paycheck and Red on Facebook and Twitter at Paycheck and Red. And if you're watching the show on YouTube, make sure to subscribe and hit that bell notification icon to stay up to date on new videos weekly.